Hi everyone, we are starting today's vlog, and actually I think just in general today's vlog is going to be a little bit different than my last ones. I feel like I've just been focusing on cleaning and organizing, and I should probably switch it up a little bit. So I'm just finishing getting ready to go to my OB appointment, and I have to be really quick because I probably have to leave within the next 5 minutes or so. But I've got masa sorted, I'm all dressed to go. I just have to put some stuff on my face, but I wanted to show you like sort of what my skincare, I guess, routine was just to start. And yeah, I've got my OB appointment today. I'm going by myself for the very first time because Andy usually comes with me, but he's working today, so he is not obviously going to be there, but that is okay. I don't expect it to be anything crazy really. In these OB appointments, they just kind of like see how you're going, check the baby, and remind you of things that you need to be doing or things you need to be signing up for. I'll give you a recap on what I am told today. I'm not 30 yet. I'm 27 weeks tomorrow. Masa wants to be let out of the bathroom. I am just going to do a little screenshot of what I've already put on my face, which is really just face wash. This is the one that I'm currently using, and sometimes I'll just use the Dermaveen soap-free wash as well, just because we have that in the bathroom. Okay, I don't think I have time, and I probably don't want to do any makeup today anyway, but the second thing I'm putting on my face is the Skin Republic. I have no idea how to say this. We're gonna try niacinamide, I'm pretty sure, and zinc serum, so just for clearing and brightening. And I've been using this pretty much daily, just once a day, the last like month, I think. And it's really helped with redness. I know my face is about to get red right now because I'm rubbing it with this stuff on, but I swear it's really helped. It's really helped with the redness and the little, like, they're not really pimples that I was getting before, but maybe like, just like I had bumps on my forehead and stuff that just weren't there and would not leave no matter what I did. So I started using that and it seemed to really help. So we just have to let this dry a little bit. I don't think I'm doing anything with my hair because I also don't have time to either, but that's okay. I'll just throw some hair oil on it in a second. And then after the serum, we are just going to put this on. So it's Sephora Soothing Moisturizer. It's got hyaluronic acid in it and centella, which I don't really know what that is, but this is pretty much a color corrector. So again, it just helps with redness, and it kind of looks like it feels like a clay mask, and it looks like a mask, but once you rub it in, it's fine. And it does help with moisturization. So there we go. Gotta rub it down into your neck. People always forget the neck. We are not forgetting it. Okay, it's a gloomy day outside today, so I'm not really excited to leave my house, but we've got to do this. Then for the hair oil, we are just putting on this BioSilk Silk Therapy. Okay, good enough. Also, you guys, my bump is like really bumping. Like if I didn't look pregnant before, I 1010% look pregnant now. And I feel like I mean, I'm only gonna be 27 weeks tomorrow, so I know I still have got some growing to do, and I already just feel like I look so pregnant. How much more can this bump grow? We will see. Let me just move room so I can do a little fit check. Okay, so I know it's a bad deed, I know it is, but I purchased just a few things from Shein, and the pants that I'm wearing is one of them. So let me just show you. I'm gonna have to put you on the ground. But these are the jeans I got from Shein. They're just these relaxed kind of jeans. They do fit me a little bit big still, like definitely have room to grow, but they're comfy and they do not feel restrictive, and they're super stretchy. Like I said, I still definitely can get a little bit bigger in my bump area, and I think actually once I get a little bit bigger they'll fit a little bit better, because I still feel like I have to pull them up. But anyway, I'm really liking them so far. It's the first time I put them on, but they feel comfortable. So I'm just wearing these jeans, and then this is a Free People movement shirt actually, and it is not maternity. I forgot to mention, these are from the maternity section in Shein, and this is just a normal top, but it's oversized anyway, so it fits. This little one wants to play, but mommy has to go. I will check in with you guys after my appointment, so I will probably see you in my car next. It is quite some time later. I finished my OB appointment, and then I was parked on the main road, which had a 1 hour parking, so I was just trying to, and I think I went over a little bit, but I didn't have a ticket, thank God. But anyway, so I was just trying to get out of that parking spot before I did get a ticket, so I just got in my car and came back home, and then whatever. Anyway, we are back here on the camera. I'm about to take Masa out for a walk, but I just wanted to chat with you before I did that, because then I will probably come home and not do that. So yes, my appointment went well. I've already mentioned I will be 27 weeks tomorrow, so I pretty much have done everything that I am supposed to do up until this point. Like, I've registered for a calm birth class, and I registered for it's called Baby and Beyond class. So after the baby is born, they kind of, I don't know, I guess give you tips on like breastfeeding and like just all the things that come with what you have to do once a baby is here. So I signed up for that class. They did give me my form for a gestational diabetes testing that I have to do at 28 weeks. And then along with that, I think they test for a bunch of different things. Like, they test your iron again, they test for syphilis and some other antibodies, I think she said. So I will be doing that in a few weeks. Hopefully that all goes well, but baby was fine. She's doing good, heartbeat is good, and that was pretty much it for this appointment. My next appointment is in a month, and then after that appointment, my appointments will start to be every fortnight. So we're getting closer and closer to the due date and to, yeah, finally meeting our baby. It was a pretty chill appointment this time around, nothing really too crazy. And then because I'll do the gestational diabetes testing before I see them next, the midwife said she would just give me a call. Oh, another thing, so typically when I go, there's usually a student midwife in the room when I'm talking to the midwife, because I'll go in, I see the midwife first, and then I'll see the doctor. So there's usually a student in with the midwife that kind of is just there, like, observing, I guess, and like seeing the questions that are being asked, and they're the ones that do the check the heartbeat, so they take the Doppler and like will check on me. But it's usually a different student every time I go, but then this time around, apparently student midwives here in Australia have to do this, like, it's called a continuity of care experience where they follow a woman around like for her antenatal appointments. She's there for labor and during birth, and then they do a minimum of 2 visits postpartum. And so they asked me if I would like the student midwife that was there today, to do that for me. So it's kind of just like extra support pretty much, and it's just nice to like see a familiar face or have another familiar face in the room. So I think I'm going to say yes to that. I just have to talk about it with Andy, but I kind of already did on the phone, and it sounded like he was okay with it. But I'll show him the little sheet of paper that kind of like goes into more detail about what they'll be doing. And then I will give her a ring, or I'll send her a message tomorrow to say that we are okay with that. I'm going to bring you along with me tomorrow as well, because I have a prenatal physio appointment tomorrow. I've been having a lot of like rib cage pain and also like pelvic area pain that kind of makes it hard to like really do anything. Like it hurts to go from sitting to standing and like walking for long periods of time. And if I'm walking for long periods of time, like when I take muscle out, like it starts to hurt, and then it just like, yeah, it's been a pretty painful month, or last few months, to be honest. So I thought it would be a good idea to see a physio. I think on the initial visit they do pelvic floor or pelvic assessment type of thing, and then hopefully they can give me like some exercises or stretches or some sort of thing that I could be doing to just help ease the pain. Although I have been using magnesium cream on my pain areas like my rib cage and my pelvic bone, and that seems to really be helping. But if I can do something to like strengthen them that is not like super intense, that would be nice to know too. So yes, these days are just filled with lots of baby things, but I will probably talk more about that tomorrow. I think that's all I have to say for now. I will take this one out for a walk before the sun starts to go down. I hope it doesn't rain on us, because it just rained a little bit ago, and it's one of those days where it's kind of like sunny and cloudy, but like even when the sun is out, it'll still start to like randomly rain. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And yeah, that is it for now. I will catch up with you guys later. Sorry if the lighting is weird. I've got you on my countertop, but I'm just about to start making lunch because I am starving. And I have to, well, okay, I don't have to, but I've got like the backlit lights on the counter. Anyway, this is what the lighting is gonna be. I just got back from my physio appointment and I learned so much. I don't know what I was expecting it to be. Like, I had never gone to a physio before anyway. So this was my first time going to one, and it was a prenatal appointment also. So I just like, yeah, it was a really good appointment. I've got, I can't really show you, but I got a belly band. And I think I already mentioned this, but I was going to this appointment because I was having really bad rib cage pain and pelvic bone pain, and so already just having this on for like the past 30 minutes or so has really helped so much. But I will have to try it out when I'm sitting on the couch. I also learned that there are different ways that I should be getting in and out of bed and like in and out of my car that will help with my pains and aches. So I am just feeling really confident, and I'm hoping that this next trimester, my final 12 weeks of carrying around this baby, hopefully she comes on time, so 12 weeks of carrying this baby, I will start to feel a lot better. We went over like what I was doing to stay active, or like exercise wise, if I was doing anything, which I hadn't really been. So my first trimester, let's back it up a little bit. So even before I got pregnant, I just was a super active person. Like that is, I was a yoga teacher, so I was doing yoga like all the time, like multiple times a day, and I was walking masa every single day, and I was doing rock climbing and hiking and just all of this stuff. And then I got pregnant and I started feeling tired. But another thing that happened that I don't really like mention is literally probably every single day for my entire first trimester, pretty much, I bled. And so I just kind of fully stopped exercising and like walking for long periods and doing yoga, because everyone, and by everyone I mean like doctors and my partner's mom, who's a midwife, like professionals, just kept telling me to rest. And yeah, so yeah, I think maybe at like 8 weeks, maybe even no, I think it was like 6 weeks when I was just like bleeding every day. That was not like implantation bleeding. We ended up going to the ER and they checked baby and they said everything was fine. But again, just to rest. So that's kind of what I did all first trimester. And besides that, you know, I was nauseous and I was tired. So I don't know, I think it just kind of became a habit, because I did start to feel better my second trimester, but I just was feeling unmotivated to do anything at home. So I kind of just didn't. And I think the reason why I have been like really struggling with these aches and pains is because I'm not doing probably enough stretches and exercises that I could be doing. So yeah, so the physio was really good. She like explained like so many things about my pelvic floor and like the muscles and like the joints and like just like literally everything. So she sent me home with a stretching sort of program that I can do at home. And she said to do that daily. I'm also going to try to keep doing my daily, or my almost daily 30 to 60 minute walks. She said that was good too. You're gonna hear sizzling. Actually, I might just cook this really quick first and then I will start talking because it's kind of loud. Okay. The sun came out too. Hopefully it stays sunny so that I can take this one out for a little WALKIES. Anyway, I was saying, so the physio sent me home with a lot of knowledge, a belly band that is very supportive, and I'm really loving it so far. And then with a stretching slash like light core sort of exercise program guide that she wants me to do daily. So I'm glad to have something that is personalized and that I can follow off of. And then she also explained to me about getting a pelvic floor exam, which she really recommended. And I don't know why, but I like read it in the thing, like in the initial appointment thing, it says they'll talk about like all of these things with you, and one of the things on there is pelvic floor assessment thing, which I thought I was gonna get today, but I don't know, in my head I thought it was just going to be, you know, like just gonna touch around my pelvic area like externally and like make me do some like movements or whatever so that she can assess it. And it is much more in depth than that. They actually go in like internally to feel like your pelvic floor muscle, and like they check your perineum to see if you would like benefit from perineal massage. And she was like explaining to me like all of the different measurements that they take, and like depending on the measurements they kind of like will, again, like the perineal massage and like other exercises that you can do to relax those muscles if they're short and tight. So it's very like much more complicated than I thought it would be, and much more like in depth and I guess personal, because they're like getting all up in there. And we also just like discussed like if you have pain during intercourse, and like this exam will also, I guess the pain comes from like your muscles being like tight. And I explained to her too that when they did my scans, I think actually the ER scans were actually my first scans of the baby that they did. They also found a fibroid on my right ovary, I think, and then endometrium tissue as well. So I just told to the physio that, and she like, just so that she knows that it's there, and like I don't know if that affects the muscles or like how it affects it, which you said it does. I think having endometrium tissue there like exacerbates the pain. But anyway, all of this thing. So I ended up making another appointment with her in, not next week, the week after, to do that whole pelvic floor exam. So I'll probably talk about that in another video, just because like I don't know, I didn't know it existed, and so it might be helpful for people to like learn about it, about what it is, and if they have that option in their area to do it, maybe it'll be beneficial. We'll see if it's beneficial for me. It sounds like it will be, so I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty happy that I went to this like place and they like taught me all of this stuff. So yeah, so that's kind of my next step with her. And I also want to book in so they do clinical Pilates classes, and the way they do it is like they do it in groups of no more than 4 people, but it's all personalized. So even if there's 4 people in there, it could be people that are prenatal, postnatal, or just in there for like a whole different issue that they're having. And then each person has an individualized program that they're following. But I guess it's just nice to like, you know, be in a room with other people who are also exercising, and you've got like sort of supervision for you if you like need help with exercise, or like your form is wrong or whatever. So I am really interested in doing those classes there as well. But obviously it's customized, so you need your own program. So I'll have to book in and I will have to book in an initial one-to-one clinical Pilates session with her before I can book into like the actual classes, which is like fine. I think I do want to do that too, because I really just like cannot do anything by myself at home. Like exercise wise, I really just need that motivation, like going into a new location and like being surrounded by people who are also like doing exercises. I think that is just the best way for me to do it. And also I really don't have a space here at home that feels like an exercise like space, if that makes sense. Like I would have to do it here in the kitchen, maybe when we get rid of the foosball table in the living room, I can make a little spot there, something. But this house is just way too crowded to like make a little like sanctuary space of my own to be able to do like Pilates and yoga and like stretching and all of that. So right now I'm just focusing on doing the stretches that she are meant to be for at home, because it's not really that many, and I don't think it will take that much time, and that means it will take not that much motivation, hopefully. So I'll see how I'll go with that. And I think that's all I have to say about my physio appointment. It went really well, and I like am so glad that I went. I think that'll be it for this vlog. This is more of like a prenatal, like pregnancy update sort of style vlog, so I will leave it at that. But actually, the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys also, in case anyone is interested or trying to look for things that have been like helpful, or like if you're looking for prenatals and stuff, I will just share with you really quickly. So Elevate, this is their preconception and pregnancy tablets. And so Andy and I got pregnant like very like quickly, like on our first try. And even with like all of the issues that I have in my pelvic region area that I didn't know about before, but like the fibroid and the endometrium that can be a cause of infertility in some women, that was like not a problem for me, and it just was like it didn't exist. But I reckon that it is because of this. So I started taking Elevate maybe like 2 months before, maybe 2 or 3 months before we were like, okay, let's do it, let's just try to get pregnant. And then there's actually a boy version of this that's called Menavit. I will just show you the bottle. So it looks like this. It's a preconception sperm health, and Andy started taking this at the same time I started taking Elevate. So I do really think that these supplements helped us in like how quickly we were actually able to conceive. But I'm still taking the Elevate throughout pregnancy. And then once I got pregnant, I added this. So this is their DHA and choline. So choline is supposed to help with placenta health and the baby's brain development. So we added that in. And then, yeah, I guess those are the two main ones that like anybody can take when they're pregnant, like for prenatals and things like that. And then for me personally, I was told to start taking calcium to help with the baby's bone development. So I'm taking a tablet of calcium as well. And then I was taking 2 of these, but I'm actually also taking some probiotics. I'm taking this one as well. But this one has calcium and vitamin D in it. So instead of taking 2 of these, I'm just taking 1 of these, and then I'm also taking these as well, so that it equals the same dose that I would be taking if I was just taking this first big one. Anyway, all that to say, those are currently the prenatals that I'm taking. I also found out that I have super low iron. This was like from all the way the beginning of pregnancy. So I'm taking iron tablets, and that's actually something I also spoke to the physio about, because we talked about like if there was any like incontinence happening or like accidental like pee slips or whatever. And then we also talked about like my bowel movements and stools, and iron is known to have the side effect of constipation, which is what I was getting. So I was on Ferrigol C, I think that's what it's called, Ferro. I was on Ferro plus C from the very beginning of my pregnancy, but that like just maybe TMI, but that just like made me super constipated. So I switched to these tablets, Maltifer, that are supposed to be less intense than the one I was taking before. But I was talking to my physio about it, and she said that well, one, that I should be taking iron tablets every other day, and because I was not taking that high of a dose, it probably wouldn't do anything to my iron levels. And then I don't know, she like explained some scientific also like medicine ingredient thing about this one, and she ended up recommending me a different iron supplement that she said I should take instead, and then that is also less intense than the Ferro Plus, but it has more iron in it, so she thinks that that one will help my iron levels like actually go up. And I'm getting my iron levels tested again in a few weeks. Well, I still haven't made the appointment, but I have to go in for my gestational diabetes testing, and then while I'm there, they'll take bloods for my iron and all of that as well. So she said if my iron was still low, she really recommends switching to the other one that I forgot what she said it was called, but I will put the name of it somewhere on the screen when she sends me the email of what it's called. So yeah, that is my supplement regimen in case anyone was interested, and that's it. Okay, I'm going to finally go eat now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Any questions, any comments, if you want to tell me about your journey of pregnancy or any experiences you've had with physios, and if you found them helpful as well with aches and pains and all of that, any of that, leave a comment down below. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.